Two main approaches that people use when it comes to learning how to do a roll. When it comes to concert percussion, a lot of the ways that people talk about doing a roll is to just simply start with a bounce. You slowly go faster and faster. And then you eventually get to the point where you go, okay, now try and limit it so you're only doing 2 notes at a time. And you can get away with really uneven sounding rolls on concert snare. If you're playing on a snare drum for a marching snare drum, those rolls won't line up with everybody else. So the other way that people will often talk about rolls is using something like double beats so that you are individually stroking each of the 2 notes rather than focusing on a bounce. You can start with this if you're teaching a beginner drummer, and they might get used to playing a roll and it'll sound okay, where you're just kind of bouncing it in like that. But you eventually, if you're doing drumline, want to be able to show them how to get that second note to sound better. So there are many different exercises that you can do to work on that. Double beat exercises that are found under the technique exercises linked at the top of the screen, diddle strength. So this exercise is a very basic double beat, putting an emphasis where there are accents. So there's only about a 3-inch difference between the accents and the taps. The second is actually like, and the third, really helpful for students to be able to feel that second note because you're emphasizing the second note of a diddle. The reason why it has it on the right hand, both hands, left hand, both hands, for a drumline, you want to make sure that your hands are super even. You can get away with having uneven hands on drum kit, but if you're teaching a beginner student how to play a double stroke, you might want to start off with some exercises that focus on emphasizing that second note. So you don't have rolls that sound like this, but instead get rolls that are much more even. Once students have the diddle strength down, you can then apply it into a context where you can use double strokes. There are many different triplet diddle exercises and 16th note exercises in here. And you just start learning how to permutate, how to shift a single diddle, multiple diddles across the different subdivisions, whether it's 16th notes or triplets. So we start off with diddle on 1, diddle on 2, 3, and then 4. Just get that first line down with beginners who are learning how to do rolls. Cool. Once they get that down, now try the second line where you're actually doing 5 strokes and then 7 strokes and then full roll and tap roll. Do the same thing for triplets so that way they can get used to the different subdivision permutations on there. Once students start to get this down and they're able to start to feel like what it's like to play a diddle, what you're likely going to get as they get faster is, again, that second note is going to be lower as opposed to having that second note louder. We overemphasized it. To fix that second note issue, I recommend working on the inverted diddle exercises. So this exercise is the exact same thing. Everything rhythmically in this is the exact same thing as the 2-count variation of 16th note diddle. All you're doing is putting a single note before the diddle while keeping the same sound. So instead of going right, right, left for like a diddle, you're going right, left, left, right, left, left. So if you have a roll, you're going to start with a single note. Right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left. Instead of right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. You start with a single note. Why is this important? This actually makes it so that the second note is lining up on the subdivision as opposed to the first note. So instead of getting used to playing a roll with 1 E and 2 E and you're actually playing so that the second note of the diddle lines up with the subdivision. This is a great way that you can work on it. Once they are able to get this down, then we need to get into interpretation of diddles. So like a slurred diddle might sound like as opposed to, or a rush diddle might sound like, or a crush diddle is another way to phrase that. So there are diddle timing and 5-stroke roll timing exercises that are great for specifically working on that. There's many different versions of this where it's like accent on 1, accent on 2, accent on 3, and then the 16th note version as well. But for these particular exercises, you're going to play a check, play a diddle pattern that is slurred, normal interpretation, and then rushed interpretation, and then normal interpretation. So it's going back and forth, intentionally changing the amount of space in between each one of the notes, so that way you can play it rhythmically perfect and can actually hear, well, what does a slurred out 5-stroke sound like? Or what does a rushed diddle sound like? Roll timing exercises, so these are really good for improving the timing of it because it not only does a normal roll, but it also has the inverted roll right afterwards. So you're going back and forth between normal interpretation and the next interpretation. So that is a long-winded answer of basically saying what I recommend for beginners. If you're learning how to play diddles is you can start off by just the bounce stroke, just getting used to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Then you need to start working on double beats where you're trying to strengthen the second note of a diddle, like in these playlists. Then you put it into context by playing triplet diddles, 16th note diddles, where you are permutating a single diddle and then 5-stroke diddles across the different subdivisions. And then you can start refining on things like diddle timing, 5-stroke timing, and your roll timing and whatnot to be able to make it so that it sounds consistently in time. So that's a long process that might take months to be able to get to, but that is a very thorough process to be able to make it so that you can actually play through all of these. Once you get these down and you can play this all at one height, I then actually recommend going into the grid variations and working on the diddle variations, whether it's 16th note or triplet, and you go into it and you are permutating accents on the diddles and off of the diddles. So there are many variations in here. So for example, there are over 70 variations for just the 16th note diddle variations that you can do, whether it's like diddle on 1 or 5-stroke on 1 or diddle on taps or a tap 5 after accents, etc. Like there's a lot of variations in here that you can explore to work on 2-height combinations of diddles. Before I get to the next tip, I just want to say really quickly that you can find literally thousands of hours of free drumming play-alongs and drumming tips in the link at the top of the description or by going into my home tab of YouTube. If you're playing like a roll, as you speed it up slowly, you don't want to all of a sudden go from like this technique to like a completely different technique. So when you're doing this, you start off slow and you slowly speed it up, and you want to have the same hand motion as you get faster and not have like this drastic jump in your technique when you slow back down. The area in the middle where it like switches from one technique to the next is called like the gray area, or you can call it that. So you want to be able to like work through that. So there are some exercises on my YouTube channel that are specifically for helping with that, like fast, slow, fast, or slow, fast, slow, which like either starts really slow, gradually speeds up every 4 beats, and then gradually slows back down. And the opposite version of that, it starts off fast, goes slow, and then eventually speeds it back up. Let's say you want to work on a rudiment and you can play it at 120. This will start you off at 40 beats a minute, go all the way up to 120 beats a minute, and then slow it back down to 40 beats a minute again. It goes up 1 click at a time. So you could sit there and play just like 16th note rolls, like, or just like flam drag. It's just slowly speeding up. It's going 1 click at a time. You get 4 counts for each one of them. Once it gets to the top BPM that you select, like 120, it'll hold it there for 4 measures, and then it slows it back down again all the way down to 40. This is a great way to refine a rudiment or your rolls or whatever. But the opposite of that is fast, slow, fast. This one starts off at a faster BPM and then slows it back down. It's like 120, and then it goes all the way down to 40 beats a minute, and then it goes back up to 120. So those 2 exercises are a great way to work on anything really, whether it's a flam drag or a roll or like something on the drum kit, like sit there and play a beat, etc. You can find that under the technique playlists. The reason for people working on check related stuff is because it's kind of like your home base. So it's starting with something that is clean and familiar and going back and forth between like a measure of check and a measure of something that is difficult is a really easy way to clean up something when it comes to your playing. It's not like you have to like play everything with a check when you're learning something, but it's just good for getting the rhythms down.